Tenebrae, also known as Valkorion or Vitiate, was the Sith Emperor of the Old Republic. A few years ago, I made a Valkorion explained video, so you can call this video the sequel to that, as Tenebrae's final mysteries have been unraveled with a true and final end to his presence in the galaxy. First of all, if you haven't seen my Valkorion explained video, then you should probably watch that first. There is a link down below. If you're already up to speed, then we can continue. My name is Sam, and this is Tenebrae Explained. In the end of the Knights of the Eternal Throne story arc, we saw Valkorion's demise and defeat. Everyone believed that Valkorion was gone, however they were yet to realise defeating Valkorion would never be a simple feat. As we all know, the former Sith Emperor used different hosts, but of course there must be an original body, a body that Tenebrae was born with, not a body he stole. The Jedi Knight Kira Carson and former Emperor's Wrath, Lord Scourge, set out on their own mission many years ago to discover and destroy the original body of Tenebrae, to ensure he is defeated forever. The plan they had made sense, as it would to many. Lord Scourge actually had a secret ally, who later turned out to be the ghost of Revan, which means it was Revan that was able to guide them to Tenebrae's original body. They eventually discovered Tenebrae's original body in stasis, which was clearly put this way by the former Sith Emperor. Kira and Scourge were able to successfully destroy the body, which they did roughly at the same time as the Alliance commander defeated Valkorion. Tenebrae's original body has a dark side ritual carved into it. Quite seriously, the ritual markings could be seen all over his body and they looked evil and scarred. This particular ritual would allow Tenebrae to invade and dominate the minds of whoever is around him, allowing him to survive. In this case, the Jedi Knight Kira and former Emperor's Wrath found themselves trapped inside a nightmare of Tenebrae's making, which lasted an entire year. It wasn't until Satele Shan and her Jedi followers were able to find them and free them from their nightmare. While Satele was able to free Kira and Scourge, she was not able to save herself and her Padawans, and thus they became trapped instead, forced into a realm of the dark side where the would-be consumer of the galaxy resides. While Kira and Scourge recollected and sought help from the Alliance commander, Tenebrae's cult of slaves and Valkorion's cult of scions were able to track down the ship where everything was happening, the last remnants of the previous host's followers and believers. None of them could agree on anything, so they decided to basically fight over who Tenebrae loves more, which is kinda silly, but what are we gonna do with these religious cults? Anyways, Kira and Lord Scourge return to the ship with the Alliance commander and friends. The plan is to join with Satele's mind in the Force and help fight against the will of the Emperor, hopefully ending him once and for all in spirit and in body. They successfully did this and made it into the realm where Satele was trapped with the others. There was one big difference between this version of the Emperor and the one we've seen already, so I'll do my best to explain this simply. Try to keep up. So, presumably, over 1000 years ago, Tenebrae set this whole thing up. He left his original body in stasis and protected, while his true essence would roam the galaxy, looking for hosts and silently building, which is what he did with the Sith Empire, way before the time of Revan. And as he did with the people of Zakuul, he did exactly what he told the Jedi Knight he would do.
If you kill everyone in the galaxy, you'll be the Emperor of nothing. What's the point of all this?
You discern a fraction of reality. Beyond these stars exist other galaxies, other worlds, other beings. I will experience or ignore them as I wish. I will spend eternity becoming everything. A farmer, an artist, a simple man.
It's actually in the class ending of the Jedi Knight story where we believe we kill the Emperor for the first time. As it would turn out, this was actually all part of his plan. He would allow the Jedi to defeat this version of him, which would absolutely cause anarchy within the Sith Empire. Power grabs would be made for the new open position, and wars would explode. With wars comes death. With death, Vitiate grew more powerful. And as we know, Darth Malgus attempted to become the new Emperor, which led to a huge conflict. After Vitiate's defeat by the hand of the Jedi Knight, his essence escaped and rested on Yavin 4, where Revan Reborn attempted to summon him again. Ultimately, Revan's plan didn't work, but Vitiate did show up. He moves on to Ziost and consumes everything there. After Ziost, Vitiate's essence went missing. Now we know that it rejoined with Valkorion, which is how Darth Maul was able to locate them later on. So if we jump to the part where Valkorion was defeated, we know at the same moment Kira and Scourge destroyed the original body of Tenebrae, meaning that Valkorion's essence had literally nowhere to retreat to, so it was completely cut off and destroyed. However, Tenebrae's dark side ritual that was carved into his body was still activated. But because the essence from Valkorion never made it back to the body, this version of Tenebrae had no immediate recollection of any events that had transpired since it had been in stasis, meaning the version of the Emperor residing in the dark side realm was up to 1,000 years out of date. It was the raw, profoundly sadistic Tenebrae. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into how it all ended. Tenebrae confronts the Alliance commander in the dream world and explains, in a more summarized fashion, what we just went through already, that he can only remember certain things based on the memories of those inside the realm, which is why the forms of Vitiate and Valkorion are present. However, all the memories and information Tenebrae has access to is incomplete. It doesn't paint a completely accurate picture of past events, and this version of Tenebrae doesn't take that into consideration. It's hard for Tenebrae to believe that people can challenge his power. The Alliance commander has multiple confrontations with Tenebrae throughout the dark side realm. It also becomes apparent that everyone who was inside has been intentionally split up. Tenebrae knew that all of his strongest foes together might actually pose a threat. Keeping them all distant would be the smartest move to rule out unpredictability. Alas, it wouldn't work out like this. The allies inside the realm were all capable of regrouping. Old and familiar faces made an appearance, including Darth Revan of course, but also Mitra Surik, the exile from Knights of the Old Republic 2, and Darth Maul, who seeks vengeance on the Emperor. After a tremendous battle between everyone in the realm, Tenebrae's final weakness was highlighted. Satele Shan stood against a dark entity and told him he was too arrogant to see that she had trapped him here. Satele had allowed Tenebrae to think she was subdued. However, Satele was actually letting herself be bait, along with her students. Tenebrae jumped at the first opportunity to take and dominate the minds of Satele and her Padawans, which not only freed Kira and Scourge, but also allowed them to gather reinforcements and get to where we are now. Tenebrae was so confident he could manage everyone inside, he didn't think he would need to properly subdue those who can rival him. He never took it seriously enough. With everyone gathered, the will of those who stood against the former Sith Emperor finally prevailed. Tenebrae's true power was outnumbered and outmatched, an outcome he could have prevented if had he not been so arrogant to think he could not die. Within this realm, his vessels turned to stone with the last one crumbling to dust. And thus, the legend of the ancient Dark Lord of the Sith, Tenebrae, was over.
The Force seeks balance, always.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Be sure to check out all of my other explained videos which you can find in a playlist below. We have more Star Wars explained and even some other hidden gems. We would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to our channel. If you like these videos anyways, it's probably the best thing to do. That's it for this one. Take care everyone, see you soon and stay awesome.